Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Once again, I'm with the DC Camp Great Millstone, back for another video. Alright, so first and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Dash. Once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. I'd like to also send salutations out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways, pushing the truth across four corners of this earth. Alright. And we know enough to know that, hey, doing so, remaining spiritual, has got our enemies shook. Alright. And we're doing this all the while, alright, trying to wake up the remaining hopefully elect. Alright, so let's get into it. Hey, this is the Destro Reborn site. I get a kick out of this guy. But he's on point. That's why, I like to use his videos. But again, let me go. Let me find it. Here we go. Hold on. Let's go here. Alright, this is going to be the copyright disclaimer. It says under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of, you guessed it, fair use. Alright, so there we go. Because I'm not profiting off of this, nor do I intend to, nor have I. This is strictly for educational purposes. Alright, so let's go back to where I was. Alright, independent. I was strong and independent. Wow. So here it is. Alright, let's see. Where the hell? Hold on. That's not what I wanted. Oh, no, that'll work. Anyway, so as you can see the title here, I was lied to while being a strong, independent woman left me broken. Wow. Because, what did you do? You listened to this devil, this so-called white man, this Edomite, this serpent, filled your head with all kinds of bullshit. But you thought, that you were going to be in a good way. Damn man of your nation. Fuck him. That's right. You go, girl. He ain't no good. Just ignoring the facts right in front of you. That person that was, sold you that lie, or lies, plural, was behind this all along. Simple, divide and conquer. But no, you took it and ran with it. That's the so-called black woman. In general, it's all the women of the tribe, but in particular, oh my goodness, it's a so-called black woman, especially here in America. And she, because of her being propped up, everybody else followed suit. And that's where we get into that wine, that doctrine and philosophy, that so-called democracy that was spread across the earth, that encouraged these women to rise up and fight against what they deemed the evil patriarchy. But what you fail to realize, yeah, this devil, as it was, everything seems sweet. Yeah. But how's that working out for you now? See, that's what the devil does. You're finding it out now. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Did my little pre-video rant. just trying to set it up because he's going to present some stats here in the video. And we keep, hey, these prophecies, these scriptures, you're going to find out are right on point. Just because you never heard them before from the so-called churches, that's a whole nother video. But again, another one of these institutions set up by our enemy to misguide you, to keep you ignorant of the truth. And that truth would include who you really are. Alright? Let's go ahead and roll the video.
So yeah, we're independent because of y'all. It's y'all's fault. Y'all the ones who sold us that, we bought it, and now y'all mad, we that. Make it make sense. And when y'all was selling us the INDEPENDENT, I don't need no man. I don't need no man. Y'all also sold us the merits and the benefits of being that, right? Safety, security, stability. You got your own, you ain't gotta worry about no man. And so the reason y'all can't make all these songs selling us the opposite of being an independent woman is because you cannot live up to the merits or benefits of being a dependent woman, which means we have to depend on y'all for some things. Y'all can't stand up to that. That's why it's real quiet right now. It's crickets. I don't hear no songs about y'all want to talk about soft, feminine, agreeable women, but I don't hear no songs talking about that. But I heard all the songs in the world talking about being independent. That's because that was cool. That let y'all off the hook. You ain't have to do nothing for nobody. But where are the songs about being a dependent woman, a soft, feminine woman? I know where they at. They ain't gonna be nowhere because we can't depend on y'all for nothing. So shut up.
She's right, My friends, every day another hardcore feminist runs into her bathroom to shave that unsightly underarm hair. Somewhere, a once proud, I don't need a man warrior gazes into the mirror and wonders, how can I be just a tad more approachable? Prepare yourself to see bloody boogers on discarded septum rings and yeast-infected poster girl dresses in the streets. As these brave post-war survivors swarm local Home Depots and running clubs, seeking the exclusive single man like a prize at the end of a scavenger hunt. Let us not forget their previous crimes against the patriarchy. Let the statistical data speak in our absence. For example, single women and mothers with children
Look at that.
are the two fastest growing groups of...
Look at that. Official statistics significantly undercount homelessness. Alright. In 2019, 5 years ago, in the U.S., there were...
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Hold on. Salaki. Oh, I forgot I still had that on. There were 219,911 women experiencing homelessness compared to 343,187 men. Alright. Oh, they get into the other stuff. I'm not even mentioning that crap. They always try to include, let's see, the combined number of women who enter both homeless and domestic violence shelters annually is roughly, 1,129,307. Single women and mothers with children are the two fastest growing groups of people experiencing homelessness in the United States. Single women and mothers with children. How about that?
People experiencing homelessness in the United States. Now I ask you, how could Drake or Kendrick Lamar compete with bars from HUD? For example.
So many people glamorize being a parent, a single parent. I don't need a man for nothing. I could do it by myself. Let's really talk about it.
Yeah, let's.
Being a single parent is not for the weak-hearted. It's not something to be glamorized. it is so difficult looking your child in the face, knowing that you cannot provide what they deserve. Knowing that in order for you to provide everything that your child deserves, you have to neglect your child because you bouncing from one job, two job, three jobs, school. There's not enough hours in the day for you to work 2, 3 jobs, go to school, and provide everything that your child needs.
First off, I'm gonna let her cook on this video, where you need to witness this epic crash out with minimal distraction. The tragic consequences of these delusions continue to ripple through, affecting not only their own lives, but the innocent children we might call co-blanks, caught in the crossfire of their narcissism and misguided pride, the belief that they can thrive independently, or worse.
That's why this devil always goes through the woman, going all the way back to Genesis 3rd chapter. It's the same old, it still works, you know? Why not use it?
Raise a child without the guidance of a strong patriarch is in the eyes of your grace, Lord Destro, a comical farce, an act of hubris laid bare.
It's so easy to fall into the demonic oppression of bitterness, hatred, unforgiveness, jealousy, wanting to unalive yourself, depression, anxiety. Nobody talks about that. Nobody comes up one hand and says that you didn't have to feed your child.
And that's the thing. I was going to try to let it play, but I just couldn't, because all that she just ran down a list of things that these women, that's what they project, you know, especially in these, you know, in the hoods. And you got all these, oh, and don't let it be a male child that she's trying to raise. Well, that's, and of course these things our enemy knew, all right, when he divided up our families. He knew this. That was the plan all along. And because of our women's pride, her ego, you know, with a heavy assist from our enemy once again, you know, via the entertainment industry, constantly pumping out bullshit. And even with that, without you willing to take hold of that, you know, that was a decision that you made. You know, your pride, and again, now you're suffering the consequences of that. Doesn't feel very good. You know, actions have consequences. By and large, America especially, you have gotten away with so much. And again, this was allowed, that it allowed your pride to swell to the point where you're crashing now. And it's similar, I suppose, to what you hear where you have all these, you know, these addicts. They get to a point where, you know, they're so used to that shit that they're on, and without it, you know, they crash, and then they go into the withdrawals and all that. And that's the stage that you women are in now, come to think of it. And I'm no expert in that shit, but that's what it seems to, you know, by comparison, to be. And again, it doesn't feel old, but it's it doesn't feel good now, but oh, it's gonna get worse. But again, you did this.
Child, Lipton soup, and a sandwich for the 4th day in a row, because your food stamps didn't come in yet. Or nobody talk about the fact that they closed your food stamp case because you started making $50 more.
No one talks about the father who, after losing his job, finds himself jailed for falling behind on his child support payment. Cruel irony, isn't it? It's funny how the system works. After these women face the heartbreak of a failed relationship with their first love, Uncle Sam, the government, They often come running back to
Look at that. Look at that. Got the flag wrapped around her. Oh man, that's a perfect picture. I gotta take a, hang on, I don't have my phone with I can come back to it. Oh man. Look at that. How better an example could you get? She's married to that motherfucker.
Jesus, seeking redemption for their sins, hot girl summers, and poor choices. The church becomes their sanctuary, but only after the states have used and
And that's a good point, because also you could substitute Uncle Sam there and you could put White Jesus. Because she's in his embrace also.
discarded them, leaving them no other option for salvation. This poignant cycle, full of irony and quiet tragedy, is the future of many post-war survivors, and your grace commands you not to interfere with this natural process.
Let's talk about how lonely it is. You have nobody to relate to because the majority of the...
Hey, Salaki Saga, I almost let it slide by, but another good point he made about when he said, you know, she did this to herself. And one of the things, I think it was Napoleon that said, when your enemy, and she has proven to be our enemy, for those of you all who hadn't realized that, you so-called black man, you Israelite man, all right? She is our enemy, and I think it was Napoleon that said when you're, I can't remember it verbatim, but something to the fact that when your enemy is going through shit, don't jump in to help. Let that shit, and it's you simps, you motherfucking simps out there, alright? I mean, that's why I can't, again, give you a percentage, but a good portion of this, again, is your fault for allowing this, for filling their heads full of shit, that they're all that, alright? And that's the point he was making. You gotta stop that shit. I mean, it's too late now. It really doesn't matter at this point, because this is beyond anybody. Well, the things that are happening are beyond your, even the simp's control. And the woman, she damn sure can't do nothing about it. Again, it's prophecy being fulfilled. Cause and effect. This is the consequences that you're suffering because of what? The choices that you made. You chose to, I can do this all by myself. I don't need no man. I can do it. Fuck it. Hey, go ahead.
Your friends, they did things the right way, right? They went to school, they got their career, they doing what they gotta do. And hey, they could be a single parent, but hey, at least they got the funds to fund it, right? They're not working 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. They working one. They could switch off holidays and every other weekend.
Another myth unveiled. What are the real occupations most women hold today? According to recent U.S. labor data, these are the top 10 jobs commonly occupied by women. Number 1, teachers. Number 2, registered nurses, aka RNs. Number 3, secretaries and assistants. Number 4, customer service representatives. Number 5, nurses assistants, aka the evil CNA. Number 6, retail salespersons. Number 7, first line supervisors of retail sales workers. Number 8, accountants and auditors. Number 9, personal care aides. And number 10, maids and housekeeping cleaners. Let us not forget the pay-for-play providers as well. Now let me ask you this. How many of these professions pay enough to sustain an entire household, especially with children on a single income? The reality is that many women who claim independence are receiving financial support, whether from the children's fathers or the government. Friends, it's time.
Exactly. So there is no such thing as or I should say it's very, very rare. Alright, there is an example of that being like if she, inherited, wealth from somewhere, or she got maybe won the lottery or some shit, But yeah.
To see past the smoke screens of media and feminist rhetoric, independence is really as simple or as self-sufficient as it is made out to be. Let's stay wise to the larger system at play.
You? That single parent, that 24/7, 365 single parent, is different. So you hold it up inside of you, get bitter and bitter and loneliness. Then you start self-sabotaging. Destroying yourself little by little in little ways that only you notice. You think you only notice, but your kids do. Then you gotta work on not using your children as emotional punching bags. Cause you hate life so much, and it's like you can't even look your kids in the eyes and have a regular conversation about cartoons. Cause everything bothers you. That's real.
The next time you witness a single mother shouting in frustration at her child, simply because he picked up an object of curiosity, understand this. It's a cry rooted in resentment. To her, that child represents the weight of her confinement, a daily reminder of her commitment to the I don't need a man narrative. Silently, she may cast the blame of her depression, her loneliness, and her gradual fading into the background of the very existence of the child. Oh yes, the innocent curiosity of youth becomes in her eyes a reflection of her lost freedom, the life she left behind.
Exactly. A representation of her lost freedom. Consequences from the choices that you made. But America allows you to do these things because you're not held accountable like the man. But now it's all coming crashing down. So now what are you gonna do? You've burned so many bridges. Between you and the men of your nation. What are you going to do? I can tell you now, it doesn't look too good. Alright? I mentioned Genesis. All this goes all the way back to there. Genesis 3rd chapter. And as a consequence, Genesis 3 and 16. Well, let's get that real quick. Let's just get that. Alright. Let me blow this up here. Alright. Now the serpent was more subtle than any other beast of the field. You know the story. He tempted Eve. There's a reason he went to her and not to Adam first. Alright? And as a consequence of all this, let's start at 13. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me. Let's look at that word, beguile. Hold on. Let's see. Dang it. Beguiled. Deluded. They are under the delusion to this day. Heavily, you could say self-delusion. Imposed on, misled by craft. And again, this is that same spirit, alright, that is representative of what? The so-called white man today. He's the one that's in the, as it says in Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of what? The wicked. And this is who is ruling over us. Eluded by stratagem, passed pleasingly. Alright. And the hold on. 14. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Now, we're not talking about an actual snake that came up and talked to this. No, this is, because I believe when you go into the, is it the, hold on, let me collect my, the Samaritan Pentateuch. That word there is Nakash, and it's talking about, dang, I like to have stuff in front of me before I say this, and it's talking about a man. Alright, is it Kakash or is it Nakash? God dang it, I think it's Nakash. Salaki. But this Christianity teaches you, oh, this, you know, it was a snake, and everybody grew up with that. Wow. Alright, so yeah, it's talking about a man. It's talking about this, because you got what, 3 types of people who you're dealing with. You got the sons of God, you got the sons of men, and you have the sons of the wicked. And these are the wicked that it's talking about here. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Confusion, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman being who? Will eventually, that line that would eventually become Israel, and between thy seed and her seed, it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. Hey, those birth pains, those contractions. And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Alright? So it's taking me to 1 Corinthians. For some reason it's not letting me. I want to do it here. Doggone it. Well, let's do this then. Okay. 1 Corinthians 14 and 34. Actually, excuse me, let's see what Paul says here first, and then we'll go to that. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11. This gives you the order, alright, for you rebellious women out there. Alright, you believe everything your oppressor. Again, these decisions that you made decades past, alright, they're coming back to haunt you. Alright. This is Paul. It says, be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Hamashiach Yahushua. Now I pray you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances. What are the ordinances? Let's look at ordinance. Let's see. Why is it not? Ordinance. Orderly arrangement. That's another thing with you women. You don't like order. You love and you thrive in disorder. Preparation, provision. A rule established by authority. Who's the authority here? The Most High, right? A permanent rule of action, a statute, law, regulation, rescript, or accepted usage, an edict or decree. There you go. Thou wilt die by the Most High's just ordinance, meaning it's righteous. All right. I think everybody's got that. Rank, order, number 4, or station, and that's just what number 3 is. All right. Now, number 2. Now I pray you, brethren, that you remember me in all these things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. 3. But I would have you know, and again, rank, order, station. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach Yahushua. All right. And the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach Yahushua, the Son, is the Father, the Most High, whose name is Yahweh. and you let this caveman, this base man who's been put over us in order to, in effect, whip us into shape, as it says in Psalms 17th chapter. He is a tool. He is, hold on, let me get it. He is the sword that, dang it, hold on. Alright. That was set up to do exactly what he's been doing. This is, and then, you know, King David and Joab and all this, you know, we've been covering 1st and 2nd Samuels for the last couple of months or so. And yeah, they hated Edomites, so-called white people. All right, it's all throughout the scriptures. The nation of Edom, even the Most High hates them. They were created to be the wicked. There is nothing good, and yet our women chose to follow. Well, there you have it. This is Psalm 17 and 13. It says, wait, hold on. It says, "Arise, O Most High," again, whose name is Yahweh. "Disappoint him." Who's the him? All right, "Cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." What is a sword? All right, again, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Let's see. Let's try 1820. God dang it. Thompson. Yeah, I keep having to go because it keeps shifting on me. Let's see. Let's try concise. Schofield. Nope. Word book. Crap. Buck. It should be one of these. I can't, you know. Let's see. Let's see. The prayer of David, of course, who was also a prophet. Alright, let's see. But that's all it's going to give me. You know what a sword is. It's a weapon. It's, you know. And that's, again, when you go back to what does Cain mean, that's one of the definitions of that name. Alright. It's like a stabbing instrument. Let's finish this up.
And you know what hurts? It's when you had your kids and you feel like your kids saved you from a deep dark road that you was down under, but years done pass and you feel lonelier than ever again, and you realize that your child, your children, the one thing that you wanted more than anything, is no longer enough reason to make you want to stay on this earth. Cause just maybe they might be better off without you. Cause we're too busy flexing on Instagram, making reels, talking about I don't need a man, I don't want a man, I could do it on my own. Worry about who could give a F less. There is a competition on who could give a F less. Newsflash. Deal with your issues now before you start procreating. You having a child will never fill the void of your emptiness. Because there's something about hitting that rock bottom that we tend to hear him more clearly. We tend to pay attention to him. We tend to look for him when we at the bottom.
But wait a minute. You didn't smash the bell and press the like button. Blast. And although you will never be worthy of a monarch such as myself, the Lord Destro would suggest that you pull fools at least. Give oligarchy a try.
You know, that's it. But yeah, you took on all that responsibility saying that you could do. I mean, but now you want to cry foul because now you realize you fucked up. Not only in making that decision, but then you joined in this crusade to crucify the men of your nation, and, drag them down, deride them, or I should say us. And now you expect some sort of sympathy? One of those, when I read that definition there earlier about, delusion. And the time that we're the time that we're in, but certainly, it's like I said, it's going to get worse. So the time that we're approaching now, which is, hey, Jacob's trouble, whether you believe it or not. Alright, because it surely is here, Jeremiah 30 and 7. Alright, and again, this is one of these things, if you were paying attention, it's easy to see how this is going to come about, because Jake has always been at the bottom. You have far less than anybody else to work with, as a whole. So how do you think you're going to fare when all this crashes down? Jacob's trouble indeed. Because as you can see, these actions that they've taken with letting all these immigrants in, this shit was planned out a long time ago. Because they finally saw Jake got tired of the bullshit with these damn democrats. So now they're trying to shore up and make up for the amount of Southern Kingdom Jakes, so-called African Americans that said fuck you. Alright, and they're trying to hang on to that, as the party is, they're trying to hang on to that power. But it really doesn't matter as far as parties go, because no matter who's elected, it's still going to be bad for us. You have to realize that. The sooner the better. Again, a little late on that, but I'd always said you should have been, if you want to play that political game, our people should have been independent and force these people to say, hey, what are you going to do for us? But when you just generation after generation after generation just freely just give your vote to a particular party, and they've never done anything substantive for you when you look back at it, what do you expect? Of course they're going to take you lightly, because I already got you. Where else are you going to go? But fuck all this. That's why we out here on the highways and byways trying to tell you, hey, come back. Realize who you really are. Get into these scriptures, because that's the only real way out of here. But Jake don't want that. He wants, and these devils know this, think about what the devil did with Yahweh Shai and tempting him. Matthew's 4th chapter. I have things to give you. All you have to do is bow down to me. And that's what happens to Jake. Look at your boy P. Diddy. He done. The diddler. You got the Riddler and the diddler. Huh. How about that? But that's gonna be it on this. You women out there, hey, you dug your own grave, you made your own bed, now lie in it. Alright? As a whole, Jeremiah 15:5, who's gonna feel pity for us? Nobody. All these nations come over here and they jump on that white supremacist bandwagon. It's always about us. Wow. Again, we've never had any friends. Even people that aren't into the scriptures realize that. I'm talking about amongst our people. You got the likes of those old so-called master teachers back in the day, like John Henry Clark, who were some others. Goodness. What was his name? A lot of them were out of New York. Damn, what is his name? Professor William Mackey. People like that, you know. We've never, they even know. Even Dr. Claude Anderson, who's still with us. You know, I got a few of his books. He was back in the 90s talking about powernomics. And again, you're trying to build in a place that you have no power. And you never will have. So economics doesn't mean shit. Alright, because the people that hate you make the money. Oh boy. But again, one thing he said, and I'll keep repeating it, because it lines up with, hey, these scriptures here, you know, that we've never had any friends, and also that in the future, it's going to come down to us being pushed further back to third, fourth, or even fifth class citizens, and that's what's happening right before your eyes. And his quote, or as answering the question as he did to the crowd, he said, well, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, what the fuck do you think is going to happen when you're 3, 4, or 5? In other words, you think you had it bad then, alright, and you're seeing that taking shape right now. So with that, that's going to be the, you know, went longer as usual, but get in the spirit, hey, that's it, you know. So once again, I hope whoever views this is edified as to what's going on. That's what we do here at Great Millstone, filter everything through the scriptures, especially when it comes to prophecy, because you need to know that the time is so very short. Alright, so with that, once again, I'd like to remind you of the power of prayer and fasting. And until the next video, hey, shalom.